I'm Chief Warrant Officer 4 Vic Pinion, U.S. Navy, retired, telling some stories of my naval career. This is another one of when I was a Catapult Rescue Maintenance Officer aboard the aircraft carrier John F. Kennedy. This one concerns Catapult number 2, experiencing high steam usage and the catapult end speed being about 2 knots slower than it was programmed. The catapult chief, Chief Rick Neely, downed the catapult and called me. I went there. I told him, let's get a check on the water level of the steam receivers. What he did was he told the catapult steam snipes from the auxiliary division of the engineering department to check the water level of the steam receiver. Well, they come back, says it's perfect, you got 54 inches of water in there, that's what you're supposed to have. Okay, let's look elsewhere. We checked everything we could think of. We just fired a bunch of no-loads, kept checking. I said, man, it seems like, to me, low water level in the steam receivers. So I personally went down there, me and Chief Neely. We went down there, and man, it's hot in there, dripping steam from steam leaks, so forth. Man, it's terrible. And everywhere a drop of water would hit you, a red spot would pop up, you know. But I quickly got in there, and when I first stuck my head in the door and looked to the left or to the right, I noticed there was a watermark at the normal steam level, a dry watermark, which didn't look quite right to me. So I went down there and ducked under and come up on the back side of it, and I discovered that there's only 4 inches of water in that steam receiver. Aha! I went back and I called the air boss. And I told, well, before I called the air boss, I told the first class petty officer, there's only 4 inches. He said, bullshit, bosun, you need to know how to read a sight glass gauge. I said, no, you need to go check that water level and add 50 inches of water there. Bosun, I checked it, it's got 54 inches. I said, no, it doesn't. It's only got 4 inches in there. Now you get your ass down there and check it. Meanwhile, the phone rang. It's the air boss. The steam snipe had told his boss, who had told his chief engineer, who was a very ass-chewing, loud individual. He had called the air boss telling him that nothing wrong engineering-wise. The air boss called me. Said, chief engineer says you got the right water level in there. I said, no, we don't, boss. I personally checked it. We've got 4 inches of water in there. Now the boss called the chief engineer again. And now I took that steam snipe, first class petty officer, boiler tender, first class, down there, took him inside there and checked it. When he saw it and he noticed it's only got 4 inches, he squatted down, put his head in his hands, shaking his head. My God, I'm had. The chief engineer is going to kill me. Well, okay, adding some water. Okay, I called the boss. I said, I personally took the steam snipe down there and showed him it's only got 4 inches in there. He saw it. He's adding water now. We should be up in about 10 minutes. Roger that. Now the boss, he's got one up on the chief engineer, and he called the chief, and there's a yah-yah. Chief engineer is suitably embarrassed. And you know, guess what? The ship had had a long-standing poor relationship with its engineering department. This particular incident solved that problem on the John F. Kennedy. Now the engineering department became eager to help me anything I needed to be done. We now had an excellent rapport. I had good credibility with them. And I can't tell you the value of that. It solved so many problems. It's the end of this story. Y'all carry on.